What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. Today we got to talk a little bit more about this LeBron James thing, where he said without the Miami Heat, he would have the same career. And LeBron attempted to clarify that on Twitter yesterday. He says he's chosen. Ain't nothing changing the fact that he was the chosen one. He said maybe less rings, but dominant from start to finish. And if he's just talking about his individual regular season, postseason accomplishments, but you have to take away the rings and the finals MVPs. You have to take some of those off of who he is as a player too. So that part of it is where people are saying, like, you can't say one necessarily without the other. They overlap. And Shannon, took a surprising turn yesterday, and I'm going to replay some of that clip, and I'm going to show you the tweet that Shannon, he kind of quoted himself, or, actually he posted this video in the tweet and said, now I believe King James is the GOAT, but under these circumstances, and he played it again, so he's doubling down to LeBron James's response. And we also got to check out Molly Qerim. She kind of went at Stephen A yesterday, and she went at him a little bit again today because she was saying that LeBron's original tweet isn't taken away from Miami, and Stephen A is saying, wait, you can't really not take away from Miami by saying that, or even making that assertion. We're about to check all of it out. Let's peep it.
Shannon?
Yes.
Do you agree with what LeBron said about his time in Miami?
Hell no, I vehemently disagree. I strenuously disagree with what he said. At the time that he had arrived in Miami, he had two regular season MVPs and one finals appearance through his first 7 seasons. LeBron, do you realize the reason why you got into the GOAT conversation? Because of what transpired in Miami? You won 2 more finals MVPs. You won 2 more regular season MVPs. You went to 4 straight finals. LeBron, how can you say that your career was going to be the same without going to Miami? LeBron, I'm not so sure. Had you not gone to Miami, how do I make a compelling case? And I can argue any case before the Supreme Court. How do I make a case that he's a top 5 player if he doesn't go to Miami, Stephen A? I don't understand why LeBron wants to be so dismissive. Okay, I get it. You dislike Pat Riley. Pat Riley didn't give you the latitude that Cleveland, like the Lakers, do. I get everything that you're saying from that aspect. But to sit there and sit in front of the media and say your career was going to be the career. Come on, LeBron, man, you got to stop this. It's okay to give the Miami Heat the credit that they deserve.
Game 6 against San Antonio.
The quote says, I think I would still be at this level no matter if I would have came here or not. As far as my career was going to be my career as far as individually, because I know how much I put into the game and how much I strive to be as great as I can be. And then when he doubled down, he said, damn right, I still would be this dominant. I'm chosen. Stephen A., what he's saying there, he's not diminishing Miami. It's what I told you yesterday. It's that macro. This was my destiny. This was my calling. No matter what team I was with, I was still going to become LeBron James because I'm that talented and I put in that work. I don't think it's a knock at Miami at all whatsoever. I think it's a bigger picture statement. Like, hey, Steve, let me just say one thing. Stephen A. might have still been Stephen A. if he wasn't on First Take. He even says, maybe I wouldn't have had as many championships. Maybe you wouldn't have as many ratings, but you still had the talent. You still put in the work. He was saying you're chosen. It's like you're called. That's his destiny.
And what? All right, that is your interpretation. Here's mine. You used me as an example. I am sitting here on national television, and I'm telling you, there's no way in hell that I am in this position today if it were not for Allen Iverson. Covering him for the Philadelphia 76ers and the attention that he brought to my NBA coverage ultimately enabled me to come to ESPN and be a guy covering the NBA. Everybody ain't that blessed. No matter how and Allen Iverson will refute it because he'll say, man, it was you. I don't believe that because of his greatness and the attention that he drew. That did with Sam Smith, for better or worse, being the reporter. If he wasn't covering Michael Jordan, his book with the Jordan rules wouldn't have mattered that much. There's always somebody that you're connected to that help propels you. I am simply making the argument, no question about LeBron James' ability. But if you watch LeBron in that Dallas series, if you watch him in that All-Star game that followed, if you watched him, you saw the individual greatness, but the absence of culture surrounding him, combined with a star like D. Wade, who was also a big brother to him, is what ultimately propelled him to the killer that he is, the elite all-time great that he is.
So first of all, let me applaud Shannon Sharpe for standing up and saying what he really believes, because at times it seems like, he was just going to go with LeBron no matter what, right or wrong. This is actually the second time that I remember that he's come against LeBron for something he said or done. Last time was on a much smaller level. He was saying, let Bronny have his layup lines. Don't be running all out there on the floor and everything. I do remember that when he was over at Undisputed. But he still said he feels like LeBron's the GOAT to him. But under these circumstances, like, we can go do that with everybody. That's my issue with it. From LeBron's camp, LeBron is saying less rings. Jordan, put it like this, if Jordan had less rings, he didn't have those 2 3-peats. That's a part of his brand. That is a big part of his legacy. Coming into the 90s and dominating, the better part of the 90s. And really, you look at the Houston Rockets titles, it's some people that was around at that time, I don't want to say with asterisks, because they went out there and did it, but you like, man, a healthy Michael, like, not a healthy, but Michael Jordan that never quit, would he had won those titles? So you always look at that. That would have been a great matchup, one I wish I would have really saw. But also, you look at it too, you be like, were they really going 8-peat? So there's two sides to that too. But I say that to say LeBron, getting those rings in Miami and getting that monkey off your back, winning those first 2, you can relax a little bit more when you in Cleveland in those big moments and you in, LA in the bubble, because you already got one. And so don't tell me that as a competitor, anybody that competes, once you get that first one, it don't matter what you're doing. You get that first one, then it's like, okay, got that first one. Now let's add on to this, but I ain't going to be a person that went without reaching the top level of whatever profession I'm in. And that's the thing that happened with LeBron. So you can't diminish Miami. Now, he did say he would be dominant. And yes, absolutely, LeBron would be the dominant individual player that he was. Like I said yesterday in the video, he took Daniel Boobie Gibson, Pavlovich, all those people to the NBA Finals. Varejao, he took them to the NBA Finals. So we are not taking nothing away from how great of a basketball player this guy is. He can probably do more with less than just about anybody that's ever played the game, if not the best, at that, taking the least amount of talent as far as it can go. You got to give LeBron that. He has evidence of that. But you do have to take off those finals MVPs, conference finals MVPs, stuff like that. You got to take some of that off of his resume. Would LeBron have still gotten to more finals? I believe so. I believe, he could have landed with other teams. Spurs, he would have probably won even more than he did in Miami. There was a few teams that if LeBron would have went to, they might have had an opportunity to win at a high level. But he chose Miami, and they were a big part. And a lot of the reason you went there is because you trusted D. Wade. Like, you were at a point in your life where it looks like you didn't really trust as many people. So you want to go to some people that you really felt comfortable with. And you talked about how with Team USA, you guys were already planning doing this. And I believe Melo supposed to go too at one point. So they were trying to get all these players together, man. So you can't say, I don't know why you would say that. And now comes the thing where people are questioning, hold on, why won't he at D. Wade's Hall of Fame? I saw that come up on First Take today too. And I'm like, that's interesting. Now, me personally, I look at it, it was around the time where Bronny had collapsed. So no telling what's going on with the day-to-day at that time, right? So I just stayed away from that topic because we saw what happened with his son. You know, maybe when they saw him one day, Bronny didn't have an appointment. Maybe the day that Wade had his Hall of Fame induction, Bronny had an appointment. It could be that simple. So I stay away from that. But it is a thing that has come back up with these recent comments, man. So LeBron, you know, I applaud Shannon for saying that. People don't have to kiss your butt and say what you want to hear, because I can't even say bad things. Like, that's not really bad what Shannon said. He just said you wouldn't be the LeBron you are today without Miami. So people don't have to say what you want to hear every time. That doesn't disqualify them from supporting you. Those type of people are actually your biggest supporters at times. You know, they'll tell you the truth. They're not a yes man. You don't want a circle full of yes men. You need people to tell you what, you know, because people were thinking Shannon was getting them clutch checks on the side, but obviously not. You know, Shannon has a mind of his own, and yeah, I love you as a basketball player, LeBron, but I don't like this one particular thing. There's no harm in that, in my opinion. Whether y'all believe he's right or wrong, you can go against your man like that, you know, and it's just about basketball and career stuff. It's not about a personal attack against him. So that's my biggest thing. What did y'all think about that, though? And what did y'all think about Molly Qerim coming at Stephen A. Smith like that? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.